Hello Internet, I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Unpopular Culture, the only show on the internet that comes with a 100% money-back guarantee, but only if you don't bring your receipt. So, today we're going to be talking about a couple of things. We have a plethora of PlayStation news. Some of it good, some of it bad. Actually, no, it's all bad. So, sorry. Next we're going to talk about Black Mirror Season 3. Charlie Brooker's show is gone from, I forget what network it was, like Channel 3 or something over in the UK. Now it's coming to Netflix as a Netflix original, and I'm very excited about that because that's my favorite sci-fi show in years. And then we're going to talk about Ben-Hur, the remake of the remake, starring Charlton Heston. And it lost a lot of money, guys, and I can't help but laugh because of the tone deafness of the decision to make that movie. So I think that's all we're going to get through today. And, I don't know. I'm pretty excited to talk about this stuff because some of it's exciting and some of it's hilarious and some of it makes me mad to have bought a PlayStation. So anyway, first off, PlayStation news. PlayStation had an event recently, a couple days ago, and they unveiled the PlayStation Pro, which is the real name of what had been codenamed the PlayStation Neo. If you haven't heard about it, the idea was it was supposed to be sort of a step up in the console from the PlayStation 4. Not quite a PlayStation 5. All the games would still be compatible, but it gives it a little bit more power. It plays the rumors were it was going to play games in 4K and maybe 4K Blu-rays, which are brand new. Sure. It was supposed to compete with Xbox's new Xbox Scorpio that's going to be coming out later this year too, which does similar things. However, the announcement came out and the specs came out and they talked about the price point and everything, and most people not impressed. And I am also of that camp. I don't think Jake heard a whole lot about this, but
I just heard the basic stuff. And the one thing that stood out to me was that, yeah, they're doing 4K or whatever, but the frame rate, is that locked to 20 or 30?
Well, they're doing
frames per second, but like 60 is what people want at this point. My monitor goes to 60 easy.
Yeah, but I don't know if your computer, I don't know what kind of graphics card and stuff you have, so I don't know if you can actually.
I have
60.
all sorts of things.
Okay. Anyway,
in there, sir.
The point is that they did get a low price point. It's at the same price point of the PlayStation 4 when it originally came out. It is at $399, so they skimped on power to go cheaper again. And as far as the 60-30 frames per second, apparently what they're going to do is give, similarly to how there are settings on PC games, they're going to do sort of different modes. They're going to allow developers to do different modes. So if you want to do maybe a little bit higher frame rate, but maybe with lower quality textures, you can do that. Or if you want to do lower frame rate, you're okay with a locked-in 30 or so, then you can have higher resolution. Either way, it's underpowered. It's not worth the upgrade, in my opinion. If that's your thing, that's great, but I have a PC, so I can play games at higher if I want to anyway. They're also doing high dynamic range, which if you don't know what high dynamic range is, essentially it allows on your TV, this is especially for like newer 4K TVs, it allows you to get very vibrant colors on the screen and very true blacks at the same time, which with older TVs and with, normal PlayStation 4 you normally can't do. It has to be a trade-off, which actually isn't just for PlayStation Pro either. They're actually doing a firmware update that's also bringing that to normal PlayStation. So if that's a selling point for you and you already have a PlayStation, don't worry about it. And then finally, what bugged me, because I was considering buying one because I have a 4K TV, which I enjoy very much, but it's hard to get content for it. Even Netflix, which streams at 4K, isn't as good as physical media. But 4K Blu-ray players, which just came out, are still very expensive, like any of these players are when they're new. So I thought, they're doing the PlayStation Pro, or Neo it was called at the time. They're the people who developed Blu-ray and Blu-ray 4K. Of course they're going to make this a 4K Blu-ray player, but it's not. It just plays normal Blu-rays, which I already have a PlayStation for that. So why would I buy this console? And before you say they're doing streaming 4K and like a 4K Blu-ray, very different. It has to do with bit rates, and unless you had like crazy fiber internet all the way from you to Netflix, it wouldn't work. It's just streaming 4K and 1080p are worse than their physical
counterparts,
yeah. But anyway, why would I buy this console? Why do I need this? I don't. It doesn't. It barely plays games a little bit better than the one now.
Every time I see something like this, and it's happened a few times, like the Xbox Elite and stuff. Although obviously they weren't working on these crazy high resolutions and stuff. They just were like, this is better. It doesn't fucking red ring of death you. Every time I think of this, I think the only people that are going to buy this are people that play Call of Duty.
Maybe.
Because those are the type of people that don't really pay attention because they're playing Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, if you own a PC, like one that you can build, and by the way, they are very easy to build now. It's pretty much plug and play. It's very much custom parts. If you have someone in your life that knows about them, or even if you just do some basic YouTubing, you can find out how to build these, and you can build them in a couple hours the first time by yourself. After that, you can build a PC if you have all the parts under an hour if you know what you're doing. It's really just the first time. You just got to make sure you're careful with the processor. Other than that, like, they're so much cheaper. Like, I spent $700 for all of this because I didn't have anything. If I needed, and that includes my monitor, my keyboard, the mouse, the Wi-Fi stuff, some of the, like, a desk. If I had just gotten the hardware inside, $250 or something like that. It's if you have stuff, it's not expensive. It's much cheaper than the consoles, and there's so many more options you can do, like especially with mods and stuff. Just on some games, and it looks better, and I'm not buying a console for that. I buy a console every, I don't know, first and a half generation. I usually don't buy the first generation right when they come out because they're usually buggy as fuck. But it's kind of a thing I get to sit in my living room that's an all-purpose media thing. I use my PlayStation more for Netflix than I do for video games.
I do too at
Netflix
this point.
and Spotify and movies and maybe Blu-rays and stuff. And the kids play games on it. Like, it's not a thing that I play a lot of anymore. If I want to game and really game, PC is where I do it because, I don't know, stuff like Steam is very simple and convenient, and I can shop at home for that stuff. And PlayStation Store is slow. I don't like the Xbox Live subscription thing is idiocy to me. So I don't need that kind of extra bullshit. And if all you're doing is giving me sort of 4K,
it's not even native 4K. It's upscaled. So
right.
What's the point? It's such a strange middle ground. And at the same time they announced this, they announced the slim model of the PlayStation. Because, you know, every generation they'll do the first one, and then a couple of years will go by. And once the technology can get more compact, they do a cheaper, smaller version. And that's fine. That makes sense. But then you have this strange console that it's not for casual people because you're selling it on the 4K, even though it's not really 4K. It's $100 more than the slim version. It doesn't have any extra media capabilities because it can't play 4K Blu-ray.
Right. And it's certainly not for, like,
and it's not
non-casual gamers who have PCs.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you're the type of person who's really into graphics and high frame rates, then you already built a PC or bought one, maybe, but that's overpriced. You could build one for way cheaper.
Just build one, guys.
If you're looking to spend $400 on a gaming rig and you really, really care about how it looks, you would get more bang for your buck by buying a PC. And a PC you can also do other stuff with, like, you know, go online or do work on it if you work from home or whatever. So it's just a strange place. I don't think it's going to pan out. PlayStation and Xbox are doing this, but at least Xbox, I'll give them this. I think they are targeting higher, so I think the price point on the Scorpio is going to be way higher. But that one does play at native 4K, I think I heard. And it does have a 4K Blu-ray capabilities, which is funny because...
It's weird to me because after the 360s came out, I was like, no more Xboxes. And now I might be switching back for my next living room media player thing.
I've heard really good things about its media capabilities and stuff, and I think you can multitask on it too, where you can play a game but have like a YouTube or Netflix up in the corner, which I know isn't your thing, but I like to multitask like that. So, I don't know. It's funny because what happened last generation, Xbox came out of the gate just killing PlayStation because it's such a high price point for the PlayStation 3. And I think that humbled Sony in a lot of ways. They said, okay, we got to change stuff. So then when this generation came around, They came out of the initial E3 where both consoles were announced on top because Xbox, they got too cocky and they started doing the always online bullshit. But now, because of that, and PlayStation is ahead in sales, now they're starting to get cocky again. This is why competition is so important in consoles. Because can you imagine if there's only Xbox or only Sony against Nintendo? They'd be fucking the customers constantly.
This is akin to the headset snafu that's happening with the iPhone 7.
Yeah.
Where you have you can't even listen to the headphones and charge your phone at the same time. Like, you can't just lay in bed and do that.
Yeah. I don't...
Because it goes to the same wire. And so later on they're going to do these wireless things that are extra money. The lowest price point I've seen is 100. The highest is 2. I don't know exactly.
For which thing is 100?
The wireless headphones.
Those are $179.
Right, the highest I've seen, the range, the lowest I've seen is 100, the highest I've seen is 200.
You can get Bluetooth. I was actually...
Also, they bought Beats, right? Didn't they buy Beats?
Oh, did they? That'd be asinine. Beats are terrible.
Right.
I was actually looking on Amazon today, too, because I was curious. I wanted to get some Bluetooth headphones just because I have this anxiety about getting the cords yanked out of my ears. I don't know why. It just enrages me, and if I'm walking around and I like...
That's not really anxiety, is it?
It's more it's just I don't know.
Like, you walk around worried that people are going to pull them out of your ears?
No, not that people are. I'm dumb, so I'll get them snagged on something, and it freaks me out.
I was like you're just at the fucking store and some rando comes up and goes, ha! Yeah. Now you can't listen to REO Speedwagon, fucker!
But anyway, I was looking for, like, just normal Bluetooth headphones. They're like $30. So what is Apple thinking? I know that's their thing. I get that that's their thing, but they're going a bad direction, and I'm not an Apple fan. So
I'm fine with wireless headphones. I'm thinking about getting some myself for the show, actually, because this big wire is connected to this shit. It gets kind of frustrating, but this just shows how little these giant corporations, how little their hand is actually on the pulse of what people fucking want. All they would have to do, Sony, is go like, what do the computer nerds like? And then just get close to that so that you can break into that Venn diagram. Because some of them, like me, I have a PC that can play games better than my PlayStation. I still prefer some games on console, like especially sports games.
Yeah.
For instance, I would love to play a sports game in true 4K. I feel like that would be amazing. I love watching football in really high definition. Why wouldn't I like to play Madden in high definition? Although Madden sucks. I can't wait until they have competition again. This is more of that competition is good bullshit. Anyways, but if you don't get me into that group, you're certainly not going to get anyone else, because I'm the least hardcore PC gamer there is.
Yeah.
I have it because I need the equipment for work and stuff. But I have like Witcher 3 and it plays really well, 60 frames per second most of the time, unless it gets pretty hectic, and that's on all the highest settings. So that's pretty damn good. I'm used to that.
Sure.
This monitor can do that. If you can't get me, you're not going to get anybody else past me, that's for sure.
No.
And going the other way, it's just a higher price point for something that if someone doesn't care about it, then they're not going to do it. Like, they don't care. You think moms are going to go at Christmas and get kids the 4K PlayStation because some kid in there is like, higher resolution? No, they're going to get the Slim.
Yeah.
You're not going to sell any of these. It's going to bomb. And any of them they do sell, I can't imagine that it's gonna go far. Like, it just seems like one of those parts of the system. This seems like the 32X for the Sega Genesis or the Sega Saturn, where it's just kind of like extra shit nobody actually asked for.
And honestly, part of it I think is because they're trying to do the PlayStation VR. If they needed to do this much of an upgrade just to get it to run reasonably, they should have just waited for PlayStation 5. They should have.
Dude, if you bring PlayStation 5 out with really good VR, I'll buy that shit.
Yeah.
Of course I'll buy that, because I'm waiting for VR to come down in price and also have a library of genuinely fun games. You all know there's going to be that one game that changes stuff. It's been Half-Life before. It'll be something else in the future. The big VR game is going to push whatever console it's on. And so you got to jump out in front of it, and if that's what you want to do, PlayStation, then fucking do it.
Yeah, I'd like to get one of those Vive headsets, but God, they're like $700. I just can't.
Yeah, I'm not buying that. No. Like the Oculus looks cool and stuff. I'm just waiting. I'm going to wait that out. VR stuff happens later when it's actually cool, and I'm fine with that. I'm okay with waiting for that kind of stuff. I don't need it right away. I get curious, but
I have like the Gear VR right now that works with my Samsung Note, and that's pretty fun. Sure. It's like that's a good cheap holdover little fun VR.
I guess if you really want VR stuff,
it's like
I don't care.
It's cheap, but it's kind of fun. But anyway.
I'm waiting for that zombie game to come out. Yeah. That actually is a real zombie game finally, and it's in VR.
Yeah.
That's the one that's going to change the game. It will make zombies cool again. Ugh. Also, sports games will be fun, I think, but it's going to be FPS based. Pretty much all first-person shooters are going to go VR next generation, and they're probably going to be fucking rad.
Probably.
I might actually play a first-person shooter and enjoy it for the first time in years.
I'm excited for...
Can you imagine Fallout in VR? Like a genuinely good Fallout?
I
know they are, but I mean like a good Fallout.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right.
I'm interested in the sort of interactive storytelling. I'm interested to see if a new genre of game comes out that's less about the action and more about storytelling in first person, which I think could be a neat thing. Kind of like how they do The Wolf Among Us and the Telltale games, but
yeah, I was going to say Telltale is probably where it's going to go.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't not be surprised. Like a Myst mixed with a Telltale game where it's first person, maybe like a detective thing, and you're just the voiceless protagonist.
Sure.
That'd be kind of interesting. Yeah. Or even if a voice came out, who knows?
Anyway.
But anyways, really enough about that specific PlayStation. But they kind of, at the same time with this launch you had just shown me, they did kind of they call it pre-alpha. It was more of a beta, I think, at worst, of Mass Effect Andromeda that I just watched some of the gameplay of with you. That looked pretty cool.
I'm of two minds on it. It does look pretty nice, actually. It's actually a 4K video because it's supposed to be running. Again, it's not native, it's upscaled, but it's supposed to be running on the PlayStation Pro. And it looks all right, though I don't think it looks that much better than it would look like on a normal PlayStation or on a decent gaming PC. The gameplay was a little strange, though. Their animations, I get it's not the final version. BioWare's never been great with animations. They really need to smooth over some of these, because when he goes from running to walking, it's very awkward.
Yeah, that's a BioWare game, though. That's something I could get over if it's BioWare, because that's how they are. I would rather it started this momentum-based movement, though.
Yeah. The environment is interesting. It's very Mass Effect. It's a little bit generic. It's like, ancient ruins, but there's some sort of alien technology. If you saw it, you'd be like, oh, yeah, totally. There's actually a gameplay feature, which is interesting. There's like a jump jet. It's not quite a jetpack, but it boosts you. So that looks like that's going to be part of the gameplay. I hope they don't start doing like platformer-esque puzzles, because it
didn't really look like a puzzle. It looked more like a way to showcase that, hey, you could, because you couldn't jump before.
Yeah.
And so basically, I think this is part of. It seemed pretty fucking early game. This might be your first like actual ground mission.
Isn't it only like 7 months until it's supposed to release?
Something like that. Because I assume this is older, though, because at the time in the video he's still calling it a Neo, and this just came out like 2 days ago, right?
Maybe.
It's not very old. But so I imagine they recorded this long ago and then released it when they started to coincide with the Sony release of the PlayStation Pro. But it's kind of a unit pusher. But I'm probably going to get it for PC when it's available. I don't know if I'll get it at the $60 price point. I might wait until the summer sale. Oh, it'll come out. If it's 7 months from now, that's pretty close to the summer sale. So yeah, I might actually hold out for the Steam summer sale. It's available, just saying. But it does look really cool. Hopefully it doesn't suck balls, because I liked the Mass Effect games, and we've argued about these before. It doesn't really matter, but the BioWare does a good job of storytelling, in the least.
It got worse as they went. It got worse. The first ones.
I like the ending. I'm like one of the only people that likes the ending.
No, not a fan.
I like it because none of the choices meant anything, and that was kind of the point.
I don't think that was the point. I think they're just lazy motherfuckers.
Yeah, but you're a pessimist, and I enjoyed it. Anyways,
the story that gets told, there's actually a little bit of story, it looks like, in the pre-alpha footage.
Looks like they're looking for New Earth, and there's vaults.
Yeah, this is a weird trope that's been creeping into games recently, where it's like an ancient civilization that left vaults behind, and you have to find them, and it looks like that's going to be a big part of the game.
Is that a trope? I only can think of Borderlands.
I've heard that elsewhere too. Also, it looks like there's like scanning abilities, like when you run into new plants or animals, you can scan them and probably get resources or something, which is all right. That's a building upon what we've seen in the previous games. That's fine.
It did honestly. It looked a lot more. What's the word? Immersive.
Yeah,
I think the world definitely seemed more rich because kind of on BioWare, it's with those Mass Effect games, and even Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. You're on a rail.
Yeah.
During missions, and it seems wide open because there's clearly planet, but you're like in a trench or something.
Right.
You just kind of got to walk the line. This seemed a little bit more open. I don't know if it's actually going to be open world because it'd be a lot because you're visiting a ton of planets. But I would like to see kind of like a Drake's series level of exploration where you're locked into a certain path. But you can kind of look around, grab some collectibles or whatever. You can kind of explore. Say you're on an island, like in the very last Drake's game that came out. There's points where you can just like walk around and check stuff out, and your different platforming. Eventually, you're gonna get to where they want you to go, anyways.
Yeah.
Just based upon how you can traverse it. But especially with this jetpacking thing, I think that's gonna lead to some extra gameplay features. The scanning looks interesting. Like if you scan all the things, you get achievements and whatever. Some people are achievement hunters. I don't really care. The only thing I care about, or the only game I've ever cared about achievements in are the Arkham games.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
But
Riddler trophies, man. They get you.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited because the Mako's coming back, so there's going to be more open planet exploration, like it was in the first game. Which this is me being cautiously optimistic that maybe they'll reintegrate some of the RPG elements from the first game, because as the series went on, it got less and less action RPG and more straight up action, and I like the RPG
I'd say
elements.
The third one was better at RPG than the second one.
Yeah, you could change your loadouts and stuff. That was all right, but it still felt like it stripped away some of the stuff. Like there weren't as
We've
many.
talked about this before.
Yeah.
I don't want restrictions. Just let me build the character how I want to build it, without having to pick like a certain thing before.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to pick engineer and then now I'm an engineer. Just let me be the character, whoever it is. If it's Commander Shepard's kid, I'm gonna be pissed off.
It's not. They released their names. I forget what it was, but the main character are brother and sister, and I assume based on instead.
Then you're male or female.
I would assume. Yeah. So it's interesting.
Sense.
I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I don't know. We'll see. I played Mass Effect 3, and it got bad towards the end. So. I know you do. You're wrong. Also on the topic of Sony, this isn't something we can talk at length, but it's interesting. For months now, Microsoft on the Xbox One has had mods for Fallout 4, and they're planning to bring it to the re-release of Skyrim as well, which is cool, because I play PC. I love mods for the Bethesda games. Honestly, they extend the lifespan of the games like crazy. Plus, then I get to role play as Doctor Who with the Doctor Who mods. Yeah,
you've been doing that shit for years.
Yeah, Sony has now basically told Bethesda, no, you're not getting them on PlayStation. And Bethesda came out and said that. They released a press release like, hey, this is why. Sony said no. Sorry, guys. And again, this is Sony being stupid. Do you not think this is a selling point for consoles? If you're
what was their reasoning behind not wanting mods?
I've heard a couple theories. I've heard they're afraid of security issues, like someone doing a mod that'll screw up the system somehow. Also, their audio format is proprietary. So if you want to do certain audio mods or whatever, or include audio, they'd have to release a tool to allow people to convert audio.
What format do they use that's proprietary?
I don't know. It's just what I read. It's
Dolby?
No, it's I don't know. Just the audio files in their games need to be formatted a certain way. That's like I don't know if it's a secret, but you have to pay them for licensing or something for it, I guess. And
that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Sony is gonna proprietary themselves into the ground if they don't. Seriously, if you're
don't leave only Microsoft viable here, because Nintendo's shit in the bed too. God damn you, Japan.
Yeah. Bad things happening. So I don't know. I own a PlayStation 4. I'm gonna keep it, obviously, because I like the Blu-ray player. It's a reasonable media machine. Some of the games are fun. I enjoy couch play for a lot of things, like when me and my girlfriend play co-op stuff. But seriously, man, what are you doing, guys? If you keep up like this, then I'm not buying a PlayStation 5. I don't know if that'll make me buy the next Xbox either. I might just go exclusively to PC. But
right. Isn't that sad too?
Yeah.
Because PC Master Race pieces of shit are garbage. We're not one of you. We're not one of you. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. What I'm really hoping for is just a third console that isn't a Nintendo one.
Yeah, I wonder if
Sega.
there's such a high bar now for even entering the market, even more so than there was when
Steam Machine, but that's really just for. I don't know why anyone would buy that if you're a PC gamer.
Yeah, that's not going very well.
Steam Machine is just. I can't imagine it is because everyone who plays Steam has a fucking PC.
Yeah. Steam Link is a good idea though. It lets you connect your computer just to your TV. That's a good idea.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, that's a cool idea. I actually might do that instead. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Might just do Steam Link and play games. Yeah. Actually, I have a buddy, Lou, that makes console killers for fun because he's a nerd.
What's that?
And he has too much money. He basically builds a PC that is only to play games.
Yeah.
And he hooks it up to his TV, and he makes sure that it comes in at a lower price point than a television, than a PlayStation or an Xbox.
That's a good idea. Does he sell them?
Yeah. No, he just doesn't.
Oh, that'd be a good Craigslist
If
business or something for him.
Right. Honestly, if he just made those, because he makes them all custom and stuff, and like runs LED lights and makes them all pretty and shit. He could send that shit in the mail. Although sending PCs in the mail is scary to me.
You could probably, it'd be extra, but I'm sure you could through FedEx or something be like, hey, this is like, can I pay extra to make sure this gets handled with care? It's sensitive electronics, you know?
Right. Honestly, he'd be more likely to just tell you to order the parts and sit there and hang out and build it with you. But no, I agree with you. But yeah, that's what he does. So I might just do that. I might just build a second PC that I just hook straight up to my TV.
Sure.
And play Steam games on it and have controllers for it and everything. That's what's happening. Sony and Microsoft, if you guys don't stop sucking, that's what happens.
Yeah.
People are like, fuck it. We have competition. We have ourselves. We can build this shit. It's easy.
I don't know what they were thinking this generation. They're underpowered consoles because they wanted to make a profit day one, which honestly, in the console market, sometimes you just got to take a loss for the first year and make money on software. Yeah. Don't know what to tell you.
Right.
But
exactly. I don't know. But
anyway,
I guess moving on. Yeah. What do we have?
Black Mirror is coming back this October on Netflix, which is super exciting for any fans of sort of pseudo-dystopia, sci-fi, technological stuff. If you haven't seen it, by the way, the first 2 seasons are on Netflix and the Christmas special, which is labeled as season 3 right now, which is incorrect. I'm wondering if they'll fix that. But if you don't know, the series focuses around new technology and how in the future it could affect our society. For instance,
think Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
but much more quality written.
I would say, given the amount of time between the two, it's like an inflation thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, how about this? The upper echelon of Twilight Zone is where this sits. Like the best Twilight Zone episodes are where these are. So they're really good. I've only seen, I think, most of season 1. It's kind of an anthology thing. You don't have to watch it in order. You can pick up any one you want. It helps if you watch them, just binge it all at once because you kind of get the tone. But yeah, it looks cool. You should definitely check it out. And now it is just a Netflix series only, which is even better because Netflix's original series are almost always good unless they're children's shows, in which case they are garbage.
Yeah, if you're going to watch it, by the way, and you just want to select a couple episodes, I would suggest you watch White Bear first, because that's one of the best ones, and it's just a great introduction to the concepts. 15 Million Merits, another really good one. It's longer, but that's very sci-fi future dystopia. And then
is that the singing one?
Yes. And then the Christmas special is probably my favorite episode, because that was an episode. Normally every episode is one story, but that episode actually had like 3 or 4 mini stories in that, which was cool. That linked together in the end, but you'll see. Anyway, this next season that's coming up, still written by Charlie Brooker, which is great. He's a really good writer when it comes to this kind of stuff. There's actually brief descriptions he gave of the episodes, so I thought I'd just run through them, see what we thought. And, there's 6 episodes this season, by the way. Normally there's only 3 per season, but they doubled the amount of episodes, actually, for Netflix, so that's cool.
He must have got a pretty good deal from Netflix.
Yeah, and they already, season 2, 12 episodes total is going to happen, but right now, October is just 6.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay, first episode of the season, Nosedive, an insecure office worker who's played by Bryce Dallas Howard, actually, from Jurassic World. I don't like that movie, but she's not bad, so that'll be
Well,
interesting.
that's fine, yeah.
She lives in a world in which everyone obsessively ranks and rates every tiny social interaction. She thinks she finally may have found a way to rank alongside her friend, who's one of society's elites. At first glance, this sounds like classic Black Mirror setup, an existing tech element. Then they just, they talk about it. But that's the premise. It's like people rank social interactions. It's very, very Black Mirror in the sense that it's taking a thing that already exists, social media, and expanding it to a ridiculous level. So that'll be good.
To a ludicrous level that is totally possible with this shit storm.
Yeah. The second episode is going to be San Junipero. I don't know what the fuck that is. And it's actually, this is the first Black Mirror episode to be set in the past, which is interesting. It's set in the 1980s. And it looks like it's gonna be, it says coming of age drama with a Black Mirror undertow. I think I heard it had something to do with maybe a lesbian relationship.
In the 80s?
Yeah, and
are they gonna get les-aids?
I don't know, and it's set in California, which is interesting. So I don't know.
Sounds like homophobia will be addressed. That would be interesting. They don't really do the I don't know, political-ish stuff like that, necessarily. They do more of, like, overtones, if that makes sense. They don't really tackle a specific subject. How about that?
The first episode did that whole prime minister and the,
Yeah.
But,
it was more of a Banksy terrorism thing, though, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, third episode, Shut Up and Dance. This one is being compared to the national anthem, the first episode, in that it's very grounded. There isn't, I guess, any really big sci-fi technology in this one, but they said a withdrawn 19-year-old stumbles headlong into an online trap and is quickly forced into an uneasy alliance with a shifty man who are both at the mercy of persons unknown. A kitchen sink nightmarish thriller is what it says. So.
Kitchen sink? Oh, like everything?
Yeah, I think that's what it means, but I don't know, that'll be interesting. I like the sci-fi episodes, but when you get down to a simpler plot, I think that could be interesting too.
I really liked the one with the rewind.
Yeah.
Where the husband and wife could watch the rewinds.
The entire history of you. That's a good one, too.
Yeah.
Fourth episode, Men Against Fire. A military story set in a post-war future. A rookie soldier is posted overseas protecting frightened villagers from an infestation of vicious feral mutants alongside fellow soldier Rain Man. They're hoping some new technological advantage will save them. This is so weird. And then Brooker says, it's a horror thriller almost like The Walking Dead, which is strange. This is the one that more than any of them sound out of place to me. I trust the dude because he's a good writer, but this seems very cliche to me. Like, it's the future and there's mutant humans and you gotta fight them. But I assume he'll put a twist on it that'll make it new and interesting. So
yeah.
Playtest is episode 5, and actually Brooker used to be a gaming journalist, so this is going to have to do with the gaming industry, so that's interesting.
Did he have integrity, Hugo?
I don't know. Ethics. Anyway, a thrill-seeking globetrotter visits Britain, hooks up with a woman, and tests the latest video game technology, a device as mind-bendingly sophisticated as it is terrifying, and this one is actually directed by the guy who directed 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is a fucking amazing movie that actually, as I watched it...
That was good.
Yeah, as I watched that movie, I'm like, oh, this feels like almost like an episode of Black Mirror. So, interesting. I'm interested to see what
it was a long episode of Black Mirror, definitely. Yeah. It was... I went into that thinking it was going to be a direct sequel to Cloverfield. Or at least like a kind of a companion.
It's related. Well, spoilers.
Is it related though? I don't know if it actually is, because I'm not going to give anything away. But the ending climax. There's a couple climaxes. The ending climax to the film has some high sci-fi stuff going on, much like Cloverfield did. But Cloverfield had more of a Monster Smashing Tokyo feel. Yep. What are those called?
Kaiju.
The Kaiju. It was basically an on the ground hand cam kaiju film. When in this 10 Cloverfield Lane is definitely more of a War of the Worlds-esque thing going on.
Yeah,
I think so. It didn't really have I don't know. You should watch 10 Cloverfield Lane, though. I'm not going to give too much away. Because, I mean, they talk about this shit in the film throughout. But the ending is, like, it comes out of nowhere and you're just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's a good movie. John Goodman does great in that movie. So definitely check it out.
Really fantastic. Anyway. And also, the lady that was Scott Pilgrim's girlfriend, I believe.
Yeah, she's...
She did a good job.
Is she Captain...
So did the guy. All of them did a great job.
Is she Captain Marvel, or am I thinking of someone else?
It's the other... No, the Captain Marvel was the one that...
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, yeah, that's her name. She was the one that the chubby kid in 21 Jump Street had a crush on. It was probably illegal because she was... I think they mentioned that she was 18, but come on, you're like in your mid-20s.
Well, all right. They look similar. Anyway, the last episode of this season is going to be Hated in the Nation, the show's first ever 90-minute episode, a crime drama inspired by Scandi noir thrillers like The Killing and The Borgian. I'm assuming is that Scandinavian noir, kind of like the girl in the dragon tattoo? Girl with the dragon tattoo?
Yes. I'm going to pretend like I'm the expert on Scandinavian noir and say yes.
Anyway, a police detective and her geeky young sidekick investigate a string of grisly murders with a sinister link to social media. It deals with online rage, teases Brooker. It starts out like a stylish standard police procedural, then takes a bizarre turn. So that's interesting.
I feel like he's done a really good job. I really hate the way he talks about his own work.
Do you?
Yeah, that bothers me. Like, you guys are never gonna fucking see this twist coming. I'm brilliant. You're idiots.
I don't know. He's in an interview about it, so I get it. But
yeah, I don't know. It's just.
But yeah, I'm very excited. I don't have a whole lot to say. I just wanted to let you guys know, and I'm curious. Do you guys have any theories about what maybe these episodes are going to be about, or what might happen in them? Any ideas about what the twist might be? I don't know. But yeah, October that comes out. Netflix has been killing it this year with their originals. So.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. They're also we are days away. We're 20 days away. 20 away from Netflix original Marvel series. Do you know which Netflix series we're talking about?
Luke Cage.
The
first reviews are out and they're phenomenal. The reviews are just saying
so
it's
excited.
Great.
I'm so excited for it. We actually looked on our schedule to see the day that we could binge them all. And it's the Monday after it launches.
Yeah.
We're going to sit down and binge watch the whole season.
Yeah, our live stream on that is probably going to be about a week after, so you have about a week to watch it if you want to be part of the live stream.
Yeah.
Finally, this don't have a lot to say about it, except Schadenfreude, and that is Ben-Hur lost $120 million.
Oh, that's right.
This has been a year where I'd like to think studios are learning that just a remake, regardless of what it is and regardless of the quality, isn't going to make money. Between this and Ghostbusters, and I'm sure there were more than that, but...
Oh, God, we're inundated with remakes all the time. Come up with some original fucking ideas.
That's the thing, though. Like, I've heard there were original movies this year, and no one went to see them. Pop Star, that comedy with the Lonely Island guys, I heard was really funny, but no one went to see that. The Nice Guys, I heard was good, but no one went to see it.
Well, it's because they don't have the budget to make them go.
I think it's marketing and its movie tickets are so expensive now. They can't afford to just go see any movie they want to go see. They got to pick and choose, and when it comes down to it, I don't know if this movie's going to be good, but I recognize this name. I guess I'll go see that. Except in the case of Ben-Hur.
Yes. Even at my poorest, I went and saw movies like, I don't know, probably once a month or so.
Yeah, me too, but I
with
really
a
like
date,
movies, so.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's not cheap.
Anyway,
ladies are expensive. I don't know. Do you hide extra expenses in your vajayjays, or why are you so expensive? That's not true. My girlfriend bought me lunch today. It was very nice of her, and it was delicious. I had a chimichanga. I like saying chimichanga instead of chimichanga.
Yeah,
It's basically a deep fried burrito covered in cheese, Hugo. That's something delicious.
I don't know who the Ben-Hur remake was targeted at. The ads made it look like a gladiator-esque sword and
well, it's a Christian film. It's one of those Christian films again, and I guess this one, like, I hear a lot of really good reviews from the Christian camp about this.
See,
and,
I didn't even the marketing I saw didn't play up if I didn't know what Ben-Hur was.
The marketing definitely didn't.
So if they were going to go for the religious audience, they should have gone for it. But I think they were trying to sneak in this like sword and sandal epic, and as if it's like Gladiator but set in biblical times. But people don't
Do you
want
know
to
what
see
the problem
that.
is? Like Gladiator is a good film, but it's a really long film. If you're gonna go Gladiator, go Gladiator. Don't go this, like Gods of Egypt where it's all just CG.
I don't know why
Or
why do they keep trying this ancient world stuff? That hasn't been a popular genre in like a decade. In the early 2000s,
since The Mummy 2.
yeah, in the early 2000s, there was a thing where, that sort of desert ancient stuff was popular, but it's not anymore. Right now, I would argue that genre has almost turned into the opposite. Now you have movies like Gravity, Interstellar, The Martian, where we're doing near future space movies is like a genre that's happening now.
It's weird how the zeitgeist shifts on what movies we're going to go see. I don't necessarily think I ever care. I just know that if you have mega CG that is garbage, I don't give a fuck. Like, I went and saw, what was it, X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Tons of CG, didn't give a fuck. I went and saw it because my girlfriend's a fan, and we both walked out of it like, meh.
Yeah.
She likes the X-Men movies, and it was fine. Like, if this came out 10 years ago, one of the best superhero movies of all time. That's just how it is now. You have to really bring it if you're gonna do that now.
Man, they need
to
reboot the whole X-Men thing completely. I don't mean just First Class. I mean, for one thing, Bryan Singer, I respect you for doing what you did, and when you did the older X-Men movies before Marvel came in and changed the game. But you need to leave now. You are done. Bring someone new in to do the X-Men, please.
You need to leave now. Oh, I'm trying to think of the next thing I want to see on the big screen.
Doctor Strange, probably.
Well, oh no, I meant a new idea.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm kind of starving for a good horror movie.
Yeah.
Like a genuinely good horror. The last one I saw in theaters that I thought was good was probably Cloverfield. And a lot of people didn't like that because I got motion sickness, but that was really the only complaint I heard about that film. I've seen some on Netflix, like we mentioned them last time, Babadook, and they look like people are good, but they're not like big screen horror flicks. They're just kind of cerebral. I think it'd be interesting to actually see something I want to, the Ghostbusters remake could have been really good, and it shit the bed. So there's that. I don't really know anymore. There's no ideas out there that seem stimulating. Like Magnificent Seven looks like a cool movie. It's a remake,
which is a reimagining of an old Japanese
right.
Seven Samurai.
Exactly.
So
yeah. Right. So it's just one of those things. And like all the stuff that we want to see, they're adaptations of books that came out 50 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of years. People are predicting the sort of downfall of big Hollywood blockbusters for a while, like the volume at which we have them now, because studios are putting so much money into all these crap big budget movies, and if they keep failing time after time after time and don't make their money back, I mean, a lot of movies now, there's a good percentage of movies that now need to break almost $1 billion to make money. Batman v Superman is a good example of where they kind of made their budget back.
That could have been one of the movies that we're like raving about.
Yeah.
But Warner Brothers steps on their own dick. I don't know. Basically what needs to happen is studios need to stop. Just be like, okay, I trust you to do a job, so do the job. Stop trying to tell people to do the job. It's no longer the 80s. Air Bud isn't going to fly anymore. We need some quality shit up in here because we have so many other alternatives. If we're going to the movies, let it be a thing. If they can you imagine if Warner Brothers and DC brought out 3 good movies in a row? 3 genuinely good movies. The Batman movies, I'm calling it Super Friends until Justice League earns its name back. It's the Super Friends for now. And Wonder Woman. What if all those are good? And a Flash movie or something.
That'd be great. I don't think that'll happen, though.
Right? I don't either, because I don't think they can get out of their own fucking way. And so what's going to happen is you're going to get these original movies on places like Netflix and stuff. They're going to lose competition. Netflix prices are going to go up.
I'd pay more for Netflix for quality content. Honestly, it's interesting. A lot of the production, I think, on medium to low budget movies, because those just don't exist in big ways anymore, like they used to 10, 20 years ago. Now it's all big blockbuster budget things. A lot of that has shifted to places like Netflix. A Jessica Jones, a Luke Cage, a Daredevil, a Stranger Things all could have been sort of medium budget movies, or Netflix's other series, Orange is the New Black, could have been sort of medium budget stuff. But because there's no room for that in film anymore, it's shifting to this model of long-form television. So
the long-form television is, I think, where it should stay as far as this stuff. But the one-offs, you got to tell a good story now, because we expect... Breaking Bad was really what changed the game. Breaking Bad
earlier
came
than
out
that,
in
The
AMC.
Wire and Sopranos did a good job of that stuff, too.
I know, but it really hit. Because The Wire and Sopranos are only on HBO. AMC was to pretty much everyone with basic cable.
Sure.
Which is a lot of fucking people. So Breaking Bad comes out and people are like, holy shit, Mad Men starts to really take off. Now you have The Walking Dead, which is the most watched television series, which I think it's garbage at this point. But people expect that level of writing now.
Yeah.
So you gotta bring it if we're spending $30 on movie tickets and $30 more on food. You gotta bring it. And so Warner Brothers and people like that have to stop fucking it up, or we're gonna stop. We're just gonna stop coming, and we're gonna, you could take the torrent sites down. We're still gonna find them on the torrent sites. We're still gonna wait for the Netflix releases. We're still gonna borrow them from friends and not buy them twice. You're not going to get our money at a certain point.
Yeah, I don't buy movies at full price anymore. I have a video store close to me that's still open, Family Video, which is actually, I don't normally go to the video store, I do streaming, but actually as far as the video store goes, they're pretty reasonably priced, and that's why they still exist and Blockbuster doesn't.
Well, you also live near a very rural area, so that one's going to stay in business for many years.
But I've heard other people talking about them online too, that it's not just around here. They're still doing decent actually as a company. They're doing smart things. They've partnered with a pizza place, so now the new ones that open, it's a half pizza place, half movie rental place.
Right. So that's, right.
So they're doing some smart stuff. But I buy my Blu-rays from there used now. So Deadpool, 2 months after it came out on Blu-ray, I got it for $10 as opposed to the 20 or 30 it would be.
And now when you buy them from one of those places, they've been watched 120 times.
They all play fine though. I've checked them.
But they're Blu-rays, so they have these non-scratchable. Yeah. They're much better than PlayStation 1 CDs used to be. Yeah. So I don't know. Studios need to realize that the main entertainment is coming from Netflix, YouTube, other streaming services, then cable, then them.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think they do. I think they think, oh, we're fucking Paramount. We're legendary. We can do whatever we want. No, you can't anymore. The consumers are winning this battle because we're the ones that pay you.
I don't know, man. It'll be as younger. I actually do think things will get better as far as access to films and even maybe the creative process as the older CEOs that have been there since before the internet start retiring.
Retire or die.
And the younger people who grew up with new media get into place and kind of know the niche movies play a role in and what should be done as far as distribution. Because right now, it's crazy. There's all sorts of different formats and ways to get them and different streaming platforms. It's a clusterfuck. But anyway, I think that's it for this episode. I actually tackled a lot of stuff today, guys. This is the first episode in weeks that has been full of stuff, so you are welcome.
Gotta love the stuff.
Yeah, you can, if you want, follow us on Twitter @TheRealUnpop. I always make the joke about it not being used. I should really start using that more. I wonder how many people are even following that at this point.
I don't know. I think we're gonna have more content on there pretty soon.
Yeah.
You can also subscribe to the channel to get more things. I'm still playing RimWorld. My last 2 streams have apparently cut off early. I think it was an encoder issue with my broadcast software, but at least I'm gonna upload non-live until I figure that out. So a couple of them will probably be next week.
Cool.
And if you want to, you can also donate to our Patreon, which I haven't looked at. I think it's empty.
I don't know. It's been a while since I looked. I should actually look at that.
Yeah, but we're gonna start doing more stuff on this channel anyway, so it'll be fine.
Anyway, until next week, I'm Hugo.
I'm Jake. Changed it. It was weird.
This has been Unpopular Culture.
Finger gun. Pew pew.